Good morning, everybody. I am very excited about today's live because I'm going to be doing something that really I've been trying to set up since the beginning of this channel, is to take all the comments that you guys have accumulated over these last few months of my channel existing and talking about them, reviewing them, going through them, because I'm literally going to use them. Like I said, pretty much every video is they actually matter, and I'm really going to go through them and learn from them, because I truly believe you guys know more than me when it comes to RPGs, and there's a lot of knowledge to be gained out there, you know? So that's what we're doing today, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Basically, I am right now, for my TCRPG, trying to figure out a combat system, and the big determining factor to how that's going to work is hit points, and how I'm going to go about tracking damage, tracking what happens when someone gets hurt. Last time we talked about conditions a little bit, and I'm really happy with that, but I really want to take another step forward when it comes to making the game have a combat system that makes sense. And the place I think is smart to start in is, okay, well, what happens when you get hurt? So let's see what the Nat ones have to say. Let me go ahead and switch the screen here. Okay. So let me go ahead and make it so there's plenty of room to see these comments. So yeah, we're gonna be looking at this video. I started off being on a date with the viewers on this one. I actually like this video a lot, but HP might be a huge mistake. That's the name of the video we're gonna be going over today. And let's go ahead and start reading through some of these comments, so you guys get my live reaction to them. I've already read most of these because, like I said, I pretty much read them after I like as soon as I can, because I do think there's a lot to be learned from them. So, like I said, this will be a refresher course for me, but you guys get to see my reaction, and I'll take notes along the way to know what I like, what I maybe want to stay away from when it comes to developing this part of the game. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Okay, this is the top comment of here, 17 likes. I even commented on it. Oh, I love this. Okay, good. So already we're looking pretty solid right here. I'm gonna try to make this, I'm gonna try to zoom in on this. So that it's easy for everyone to read, including me, because it's too early in the morning for me to be squinting my eyes trying to read something. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, so Hank the Turtle 3349 says, we have a table rule where if you take 30% or more of your max HP in one hit, you take a wound that will give you a scar. And if you take 60% or more in one hit, the DM makes a roll to see if you lose a limb. It works pretty well to make it feel more high stakes in a fight. Yeah, that's really good. That's a great solution to some of the problems I present in this video. That if there's a big enough hit, it matters. It'd also be really cool if you're able to, like, on the character sheet, write down what 30% is, what 60% is, so they're able to track that. That's a great house rule. So if I did decide to do some hit points in this system, that'd be a great way to go about it. So thank you, Hank the Turtle. That's great advice. The D20 Star Wars game uses vitality or wounds. Vitality was rolled just like standard hit points, but was used to fuel your force and skills, represented by your ability to dodge or parry strikes. It was essentially your endurance in combat. So I think that's the best way to think about hit points. It's not literally your life essence, but this is good. Anyone have a Buc-ee's nearby in their state? This beaver that owns these gas stations that are way too big, my wife can't get enough of them. I've given so much money to this little beaver. That's that grin, that's that. Okay, so that's a better way to go about thinking about hit points. Not so much your life essence or your life. I'm gonna like that. Not so much your life essence, but more of your endurance in the fight, And it would be great if there could be a way to track. Tell you what, let me go ahead and open my notes up here so that I can also track this. Because I do want to take notes of what we're doing. I'm going to put this up here. Okay. I use Canva for pretty much everything. As if you guys have been to any other stream, you know. Okay. Or if you've seen any thumbnail, you know. So let's talk about health. That's what we're talking about today. And we're gonna have a little section for notes on this one. Okay. So when it comes to health, it would be cool for stamina to be a resource that acts as HP. Once I learn how to spell, these streams will be a lot better. That acts as HP. And once depleted, character will receive damage. That would be the correct way, I think, the best way to go about hit points if I decided to go with hit points. So, yeah. Excellent job. Thank you, James Treppa 7833. Juice Day 2240 also goes to a restaurant and orders 2 bananas. Yeah, believe it or not, those are just the things I had in my house, and that was just like there, and I thought it'd be a little bit funny, so I did it. Anyway, thank you for the love, Timothy. Winnell. Sorry, I don't actually know how to pronounce your last name, but thank you very much. He's a solid dude. Okay. Justin Halls 413 says, I think of hit points as energy in a way. Fighting is exhausting, and every time you lose a hit point is you getting worn down from dodging and blocking. Eventually, you'll get too tired and probably dodge or block to properly dodge or block that leads to crippling or a fatal blow. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. It would be stamina in a way. So we shouldn't call it health points. If that's what his intentions were, then that's a pretty misleading title. So we're definitely going to lean that way if we do have hit points. Just Thought with Aiden A. Excellent podcast. Go follow him. I went to college with this guy. He's a solid dude. And thank you for the comment. Joshua, follow this man right now. This is a good man right here. Also, thanks for taking me on a date. Anytime, dude. Oh, no, those bananas weren't both for me. Oh, well. Oh, you guys are so nice in the comments, normally. I don't always get nice comments, but yet again, sometimes I'm a little bit blunt in my videos, so that's totally fine. Okay. So yeah. Okay, we got a double comment here. Okay, so Senthar, I think it's how you would say their name, is HP is narrated as glancing blows or luck being drained, making a lot more sense than getting shot each time. Yeah, just like we said, it's more of your stamina and your ability to not be hit until you reach 0 HP is when you actually receive damage. But I don't think it should start at 0 HP is when you're so tired, oh, I'm finally getting hit, and you instantly die. It's kind of a messed up system when you think about it, I guess. If you're trying to think of it that way. Unless you implement what our top comment said with a 30% and 60%. So we'll see. And then this person, XN2s 497, I don't know how to say your name, sorry. I think there is no problem with a character in a fantasy game like D&D being able to literally take more damage than in real life a human could. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, you can totally read into the fantasy aspect of like the game and have that be a factor. Absolutely. Okay, Chris C1701. Ooh man, hit us with a banger here. Let's find out what they say. The biggest problem is we treat hit points as health points. Yep. Instead, they should be viewed of how many effective versus ineffective, i.e., misses, attacks you can take. As for Keith mentions, like Keith I referenced in the video, luck, skill, etc. Yes, these are attacks at you, but you avoid serious damage. Maybe they strike your armor, but you don't take anything more than the wind knocked out of you. Maybe it's a series of strikes that force you back as you desperately try to defend each attack getting closer. Maybe it's a non-lethal blow like a kick or a punch or a primal strike, such as when Darth Maul punches Qui-Gon. Yes, that's true. It sets up for that lethal strike. Like recently, like in this last session I played in the campaign I'm playing right now, we're climbing a mountain and we roll a certain amount in order to take a certain amount of HP. In my head, I know that these hit points being taken away represents the exhaustion we have from climbing this mountain, right? I know that the mountain's not punching me. It's literally exhaustion points, which makes me more vulnerable for a future fight. So we got to the top of the mountain, and if someone attacks me, understandably, they're gonna have an easier time fighting me, easier time getting me down, and possibly an easier time killing me. So that makes sense narratively. Okay. This also explains why it goes up as you gain levels. You're more experienced and better at dealing with these situations. That's true. Because I think I even made a reference in the video. I'm like, how does that work? What's happening when you gain HP? Are you getting bigger? Are you just getting more meat on your bones, thus able to live longer in the fight? It's obviously it's a simple system that works really well, but I just don't know if I really want that in my game, because I believe here, let me look you in the face for this bad boy. I believe when you're making a game, you should want it to emphasize what you value most in the TTRPG experience. And what I value most is narrative storytelling and having the mechanics guide you and lead you towards making, big decisions for your character's story. And hit points don't really do that. It's a very video game-esque feel, which works for a lot of people. It works for me a lot of times. When I fight, sometimes I don't want to think about, every single thing that's happening, how it's affecting me. Sometimes I just want to blow punches, and that's totally fine. But I think for the overall game, I want it to be leaned more towards a narrative, opportunities to enhance the story. I'm going to change the color of this background right here. No, blue on blue? Absolutely not. Maybe some green? Yeah, that looks better. Okay, let's get back into this. Okay, now to address your comment about it not mattering. This I 100% agree with in the system such as D&D. One of the ways we can deal with critical strikes or any strike that reduces your threshold, such as 0 HP in most systems, but you can also add additional. Fair. Causes an effect. Yes. I use FFG's Star Wars system. Excellent system from what I've heard. Complicated, but fun. And they have a chart for critical injuries, and with each injury adding a roll, thus increasing your chance of something being bad. Makes sense. Maybe your first hit leaves you stunned, and the next hit may leave you maimed. Okay. Chick skin digs scars. Alright, fair enough. And eventually you are bleeding out, even when you are still up and fighting. See, this makes sense to me. I don't think I've read this comment yet, and I appreciate it very much. I also reverse cause and effect on rolls. Oh? I ask what they're trying to accomplish rather than what they do. And then I honestly encourage my players to describe to me what combat looks like based on your rolls. Not say what they're doing and then roll. You roll well, but not crit. Maybe you swing your greatsword as a bandit tries to parry each one of your hits, battering his sword aside as you drive him back. Yeah, that's definitely a technique that is useful. I also tend to do this. I wait for the roll to describe the action because the dice should decide kind of how that goes in the first place. So absolutely. Because guess what? If you describe it and then roll for it, don't get quite as high. Is that a failure? It shouldn't be. It should just be not as big of a deal than it would have been if you would have succeeded. So I hear you. Oh, called a shot to his arm. Shot to his arm, but not a crit? Let's narrate it. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm brain dead right now. Oh, called a shot to his arm, but did not crit? Let's narrative affect that sucker. You don't do more damage. You rolled the damage. You rolled the damage. You did. This I'm starting to question the readability of this comment. It's my bad, but I'd still very much appreciate it. But maybe you bind his weapons or knock it aside, giving him negative on his next attack. Yeah. Stuff like this is important in combat. And finally, as you make your attack, you roll damage, reducing the bandit to 0 HP. You thrust your greatsword and at the worn down and battered bandit. At the worn down and battered bandit, slipping past his defenses, running him through. He collapsed, killed by your blow. In this fight, you only actually landed one blow narratively, even though you got multiple hits. In fact, I think we should not call them hits, but successes. Chris should get an award for this comment. Yes, this is so good. Absolutely. There only needs to be one big hit when you think about it. And it's a matter of finding out at what point do you call that. I think HP can work as if you want like longer, like dueling almost combat when you're wearing each other down, setting up yourself for a hit while taking down their defenses. Really good. Of course, Peter from Tales from Elsewhere. Appreciate this man's comments always. I just realized I just swallowed really loud into the mic, and a lot of you people did not click this video for ASMR, so sorry about that. Okay, Alyssa Cat says, I really like the way Chronicles of Darkness does HP. In My Hunter, the Vigil game, characters all have 7 to 9 HP. I would like it if they would have lower HP, you know, if I did that in Trichonomus. In that game, your HP bar is empty and it fills with damage you take. Additionally, you can target limbs and influence status of effects. You know, I like that. So, I definitely want there to be effects based on hits and targets. I mentioned in the video, and I mentioned, I think pretty often, a video made by Tales from Elsewhere, which you should check out, when he talks about hit points and how to start going up to. There it is. So you can click this and it'll take you right, it should take you right to that video that I'm referencing now. But he talks about HP and really their system, how Tales from Elsewhere does it, and you aim for certain body parts. Certain body parts are harder to hit, but give you a better narrative, and it's a higher effect, basically. That is so cool, and I want to reward players as much as possible for being creative in the fights. So, yes, I think that if you aim for a certain body part, it should give them certain effects, you know? Like, you're aiming for their eye. Okay, well, it's going to be a little bit harder to succeed in that, but if you do, they're blinded, right? Could be sick, and that would entice the players also to, in the beginning of the fight, try to analyze their target so that they're able to find out their weakness, you know? I think it's all around a huge plus. So let's keep reading. Let's see what all this cat has to say. Additionally, you can target limbs, influence their effects at the cost of rolling less dice, so you're less accurate and do less damage. Fair enough. Fair enough. There are 3 types of damages: bashing, which is like punching and stuff; lethal, broken bones, trauma; agitated, usually only terrifying supernatural forces. Fair enough. Okay, those are the 3 types. I like how broad they are, except I'm not sure how much I prefer bashing, like bashing and lethal being separate. I would have assumed that bashing like would have included like broken bones and stuff, but I guess it's like levels here. Bashing, lethal, agitated. Okay. If you're already full of damage and take more, it upgrades to existing next level. Yep, there you go. There's that next level. If you're fully injured, you need to roll to avoid being knocked out instead of being instant on 0 HP like D&D. If you're full of that aggravated state of damage, instant death with no death saves. That's scary, but accurate. Bashing, lethal, agitated. Oh, aggravated. I keep saying agitated. Bashing, lethal, aggravated, heals in 30 minutes or 2 days or 7 days. Oh, so it accumulates. That, okay. So if random back alley thug number 39 comes running at you with a metal pipe, that's a significant threat. He can take out half your health bar in a single hit. And if you're feeling that for a long time, and you're going to feel that for a long time, possibly several days. And that's without me having to mention that the weapon also have straight up bonus damage, making them extremely deadly or specific effects, like blunt weapons inflicting stun or knockout, sharp ones inflicting bleed. I'm starting to really like this idea. I'm starting to really like it. Like, we've talked before how we have like a list of conditions, right? This is an idea that we had for some of the conditions. I ended up dumbing this down. Let me show. I can show you guys what I'm currently coming up with now. So, this is the character sheet that I'm working on now. I'm going to talk about more on a character sheet video in the future. these are the conditions I was thinking. Bleeding, decay, and broken are the big ones we're going to be looking at right now. So obviously bleeding is after you get stabbed, you're bleeding out. Broken is assuming that like a limb is broken or something's going on there. And decay is like something's infected or maybe you're cursed in some way. It covers a broad amount of type of damage you can have. But what if instead of having this, like different types of damage, you just had basically accumulate like 3 levels of damage that you can receive? I think that would be really good. But in this world that we're building, is it worse to have a cut than it is to have a broken limb? I think that could just be up to the players. I think maybe we just give them maybe we have an accumulating amount of, we have like a system that builds over time. Goodness. It's not okay. We have a system that, yes, damage can get worse and worse. Sorry about that. I'm messing this up. We have a system where your health can get worse and worse over time. So what if it's like like this? You're hurt, then you're crippled, then you're broken. Well, crippled, I guess, can imply. Broken can imply crippled. I don't know. Level 1, level 2, level 3, right? And based on a person's, power and their ability to dodge, obviously it's going to be harder to receive that damage to move on to the next level. So, I don't know. That's something that I actually going to look really, really into. Thank you, Alyssa. This is really good information, actually. Okay. I'll finish this comment, and then I'm going to call it a morning for us so that I can ponder all this information. Okay. So yeah, I like that, how applicable it is to certain things. Man, it's been a while. I guess I have, yeah. Additionally, when you're on your last 3 hit points, you also take a -1, -2, -3 to every roll. This reduces how many dice you roll. Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. Which reduces how many dice you roll so that you go from 4 d10s to 1 d10 at -3. Are they calling... Who made this game? Because I use d10s in Trichonomus. I'm kind of leaning towards using d10s in this system. Love this health system because it makes combat actually feel consequential and adds a gradient between fully alive and instantly falls over dead. Yes. You know what? This would actually work well. People say like, oh, it's a spiraling death. It's a spiraling system, which, to be fair, is a scary thing. But if it's difficult to be hit in the beginning, like if you're at full health, you're probably going to be able to dodge and block pretty well. But if it gets intense quickly. You gotta start making decisions fast. I don't think there's anything wrong with having stressful combat. In a way, having a time clock, except it's literally your ability to fight back. So I don't hate the idea of having a a system that takes away dice or takes away points to your rolls as you go, as you receive more damage. Okay. So yeah, there's a gradient between fully alive and instantly drops over dead, which is really good. Especially good if you're running a game where every fight isn't to the death for no good reason. Thank you very much. I think this recent session in my campaign, we decided to not kill something and just run away after we beat the crap out of them. For the first time ever. For the first time ever, we decided to do that. And the only reason we did that is because we had a suspicion that their HP was a lot. So we're like, let's not waste our time or resources. Let's just move on, because they're probably not going to mess with us. It's so funny how people just assume, oh, you gotta kill the thing, obviously. Well, not really. Okay, normal humans generally stop wanting to fight if you bury the fire axe in their chest after all. And there's cool game mechanics to relax that, called Beaten Down Surrender. With that rule active, characters can go down in literally a single good hit. Yes. Especially if it's a person that isn't a huge deal when it comes to the fight. If it's not the big bad, then absolutely. I think Alyssa gets a golden Dice Anvil star for this one. I think someone made a video on exactly this health system too, if it sounds interesting to anyone. That is interesting to me. What's the game called? Chronicles of Darkness. I'm actually going to look into that later. But anyway, let me go ahead and say that anyone watching this now, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This, as usual, this is just me telling my thoughts to you guys. I want you guys to be a part of me making this game, and that includes the steps like this when we're brainstorming ideas here. And I feel like I've learned a lot from these comments. So when in doubt, comment in the videos, because I'm going to keep doing this throughout this whole process, and it matters a lot. So thank you guys so much. Signing off for now. You have a good day.